In the first 2 years, essentially what's happening is as long as the child has normal hearing and cognitive potential, they are primarily listening to sounds. They don't know words yet. They know non-speech sounds, and they can recognize their mother's voice. They can recognize different intonational contours. They know a happy voice from a sad voice. So they start making generalizations about sounds. And they start distinguishing which sounds are speech sounds from those that are not, those that are environmental sounds. And then once they do that, they start figuring out what are the sounds of their own language, and they start using those, as we said, in babbling. And children usually start babbling, babies do, around 6 months, and by a year of age, they have enough sounds that they're starting to produce a few words. Now, in the next couple of years, what's going to happen is they're going to develop what we call syllable structure. So they're going to do a lot of wordplay. That's what nursery rhymes are all about. So we have nursery rhymes with things like higgledy-piggledy-pop or hickory-dickory-dock. And that doesn't mean anything. Those aren't meaningful words. Those are rhymes and alliterative kinds of phrases that are interesting, almost music to a baby's ears, interesting as the syllables. And really what they're starting to do is figure out what rhymes, these early phonological awareness skills, figure out what rhymes, figure out alliteration, that words can start with the same sound, and that's kind of interesting. And we know that children who have delayed syntax, grammar, or phonology at about the end of the 3rd year, we can predict that 3 years later, those children are going to have problems with reading. So we know there's a tight connection between language acquisition, especially in these early years, and reading proficiency later on. By 3 to 4 years, almost all children can recognize incorrect productions of words they know. I used to say when I was a speech pathologist that a child might come up to me and he might say wabbit for rabbit, and I'd say it isn't wabbit, it's rabbit. And they would say, I didn't say wabbit, I said wabbit, because they're aware that you didn't say it correct, but they still aren't quite monitoring their own speech very well. About a quarter of the children can do sound play on their own. If you ask them to rhyme when they're 4 years of age, often they can make a rhyming word, even if they don't know what it means. And poor speech discrimination, we know, at 3 to 4 years does lead to poor ability to perceive speech sounds and then to be able to rhyme and be able to do other phonological awareness tests. In fact, Nina Kraus at Northwestern University just published a study with her colleagues a couple of years ago showing that if children have trouble discriminating speech sounds and noise when they're 3.5 or 4 years of age, she can predict that, almost certainly that they're going to have trouble with phonological awareness later on. And we also know if children have grammatical problems at that point, that they will be poor readers at 7 to 9 years of age.